Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Okay, I'm back. I don't see y'all. Wait a minute, where y'all at? Okay, I see you. I see you. So I I don't even know where to start. My mind is just all over the place. It's all over the place. It is so all over the place because I just came back from my other video and I saw a comment and I thought the girl was talking about me. I thought she commented and she said a black woman can't tell me anything in 2025 when she's contouring her nose. And I thought she was talking about me and I'm like, my glasses kind of, make my nose look a little funny or whatever like that. But I'm thinking she talking about me and I'm like, she's not talking about me. She's talking about the girl in the video that was doing her makeup. And it just, let's get into today's topic. I don't understand why we as women police other women when you know we are in a system. And you know that when it comes to being in this system, especially when you are a black woman, right? You don't have that many privileges. So you tend to cling to things that can somewhat give you a privilege. Now, do I agree with all of the things that people cling to for privilege? Absolutely not. Some of the stuff it links back to self-hatred. So I get it. But it's like it's the over policing of women that is just it's just getting to a point where you're becoming those people, and I sound like the Caucasians, those people. You're starting to become like them when you do that, because if anything you should be empathizing with black women in our position in this system instead of poking and picking us apart at every little thing just based off of a choice that is hard to make because we don't have as many privileges as our counterparts. So we're trying to create them, and we're creating them based off of how the system is, not based off of how the world should be. And listen, I get it. There are some women out here, they want to operate from the place of how the system should be. And then you have some black women that want to operate from a place of how the system is. And to really give a great breakdown of this is you have Shara Seven. She teaches from a place of how the world is, not how it should be, not any of that. She teaches from a place of how the world is, which means it's unfair and you're placed at a disadvantage as a woman, but then also as a black woman. So she teaches from that standpoint. Some of these other content creators, they're the warriors, they're the activist warriors, and I support them because I I s- I respect them. You get what I'm saying? I don't believe in it completely, but I'm gonna get into why, and then I'm gonna get into this whole story about this woman who cut her locks to get the pixie cut. um, I get where the activist warriors come from. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, and I will always have a level of respect for you because me respecting you is like me respecting my ancestors. I can't disrespect you just because I've awakened to a different perspective or outlook on my own lifestyle and just what I want for myself. I'm gonna always have respect for y'all, but sometimes I don't 100% agree with your approach because at times to me it does not make sense. You may think that it makes sense for you, and I feel like what's for you is for you and what's for me is for me, and we're just gonna have to agree to disagree and just respect our differences as women, as black women, and I'll always have that level of respect for you. However, when it comes to my opinion, I'm more leaning on the side of Share Seven for the simple reason of you are in a system and it does not play fair. It doesn't play fair. And one thing when it comes to black women, right? Your privilege, it can be a lot of different things. It can be your appearance. You wanting to do different things with your hair, you can use that as a form of privilege if you choose to, depending on how you decide to take that on. Also some other things too that I noticed, depending on like how you dress, how you carry yourself, your hairstyle choice. That's up to you. But it does come with privileges depending on how you're utilizing these things. Also, tapping into certain lifestyles, certain social groups, also certain careers, going to certain colleges and things like that. It can offer you a certain level of privilege. As Black women, and it's something that I've been talking about lately, because after the election, I said, Black women, we don't know how to compete because we're still hung up on how the world should be instead of just dealing with how the world is. And so it will have you think differently, it will have you move differently, and it will have you in a more competitive mindset instead of a victim mindset where you're more focused on how the world should be instead of dealing with how the world is. And the reason why you want to deal with how the world is so you can win. And that was the reason I decided to step away from the activist warrior, because my ancestors didn't get a chance to win. They didn't. They only survived. They did what had to be done because it had to be done. And I feel like now we're kind of moving in this space where you have more options. They are trying to take some of those options away from us as we speak, which makes me even question all the sacrifices that our ancestors did. Was it all for nothing? Because it just seems like in this system that we are trying to survive in, they'll just delete, erase whatever if it benefits them, if it puts them in the seat of being priority. You know, white nationalism is on the rise, Christian nationalism is on the rise, which that's a hot take, but we not gonna go there today, okay? But it's like all of these things are on the rise because when you're in this system at any given point in time, if they want to delete history, they will. If they want to erase history, they can. And it's just that simple. And it's like, it's not something that they just started doing. It's something that they've been doing. Like this is just a repeated pattern. Like everything that we're seeing, like with them reversing certain things, deleting certain things, wanting to get rid of the educational system, like that's even crazy to even say out loud. But it's like everything they're doing is to keep us at a certain level so that they can progress, so that there can be a widened gap, and that's how they want it to be. And so we were getting too close to them. We were able to sit with them. You know, you be seeing them videos on TikTok where they a woman is in a restaurant, and it's luxury, and it gives that luxury lifestyle, and you'll have like, you know, the women staring at you like, how dare you, how you end up in this establishment, this restaurant, sitting so close to me. You would see that. So when I have this conversation, I truly respect Black women. I truly respect women as a whole, and I respect your choice regardless of what you decide to do in this system. I respect you because I understand how hard it is, and I know that you're trying to survive. So I get some women are going to play the respectability politics game. Some women are not. Some women are going to take the more spiritual route. And then you have some women that are like, you know what? No, I came here. I was born here. My ancestors sacrificed. So you know what? I'm going to play the game. I'm going to play the game to win. It's unfair. So I have to deal with the unfairness, but at the same time, I'm willing to compromise in the areas that I can, because that is part of my privilege as a Black woman, to see if I could win and get the desired outcomes that I really want. So let's get into this video. This is the reason why I wanted to talk about this. You know, when these subjects come up, a Black woman changing her hair or doing anything that semi feeds into respectability politics, and some could argue misogyny, I completely understand where y'all coming from. But you have to understand that women are just trying to survive, okay? And they're trying to tap into the privileges that they do have. And unfortunately, us as women, it's how we carry ourselves, it's how we do our hair, it's how we enter certain rooms and certain spaces, and share certain spaces with people and things like that. So, and listen, I love locks. I feel like locks are the most beautiful hairstyle. Honestly, like locks are my absolute fave. I love Freedom from locks. I just love locks. I love the sister locks. I love locks. But I also know how you are perceived when you wear locks. And you have to understand that you are perceived. Like, people are going to perceive you. I'm perceived on social media all the time. And at times I feel like it's unfair because I'm a multidimensional person. But people think they know me, they know my life, they know my whole personality from a virtual screen on their phone. And I have to be perceived from just that vantage point, from the metaverse, or from this virtual world. And it's like, this virtual world is only one dimension. Like, there's so many other dimensions that I'm a part of, but because I log in and I hit live, or I upload a video, people think that that's all there is to her. There's nothing else to her other than that. And I'm like, I'm multidimensional. Like, I have a lot of interests, I have a lot of talents, I have a lot of skills, I have a lot of things that I'm into. I read, I listen to podcasts. There's a lot of different things that I do. But it's like, when you put yourself out here and you're being perceived, is based off of your look, just know, like, that's just what comes with all of this. That's what comes with being in this system, because that's how the system was created, and there's no way around that. Okay, so let me pull up the video that ended up going viral. And here it is. And please listen carefully too, because this is where the activist warriors, I understand where they're coming from, and this is why I refuse to I refuse to completely lose myself in this system. Because listen to what she said towards the end.
You were up here before, right?
I was. I had locks.
Oh my God! What? How often do you switch up your hair? And are you looking for more of an earthy type of man? What type of man are you looking for?
I don't know. I like a man with hair. If I can find a man that has locks, that'll work for me. But I kind of want to date rich men.
But when you say rich, what do you mean?
Like wealthy, either black men or white men.
If you want to date wealthy black or white men, I'm not saying your hair isn't beautiful. So that's a different kind of aesthetic. I'm not saying you're not beautiful with your locks, but you're going to have to do something very different. You're going to have to go straight. So it's either you braid down your locks and put a wig on, you get a sew-in, you undo your locks and then do some clip-ins, but you have to go a different direction with your hair. And no nose rings. You have to take that out. Studs in the hair. Take out the hoops. You're already in shape. You're fit. Can I see the nails? No blue. You need French or pink. No more tattoos.
Okay.
Because you said wealthy and rich, it's not that they don't mind you being spicy, but they don't want the world to know that. So no more tattoos. If you could get those covered up, get those covered up.
These covered up?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whoa!
Yes, honey.
Wow, this is beautiful. What? Not saying you didn't look beautiful with your locks. Let me put that forward.
Right.
Because you still did look beautiful. But how do you feel with your new look?
Girl, so the short hair gets me more attention. However, I think it intimidates men.
So she did all of that, right? Let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. She did all of that just to still be intimidating. So this is why, like, I'm somewhere in the middle, right? Like, I just got to be honest with you. I'm going to explain my thought process because this is just how I think. I'm not completely like sprinkle because again, I'm not willing to lose myself in the system. I'm willing to cut corners and compromise where I feel like I can do that without completely losing myself in this system. Because she did all of that just to still be intimidating. But why is she so intimidating? Because she's a black woman. And at the end of the day, like, you can do all of the compromising that you can do, but at the end of the day, you can't change the fact that you're a black woman. So even though she was willing to compromise, she was willing to change her hair, and she did these things based on her own terms, okay? Because this was what she wanted, right? Like, a lot of people are ignoring the fact that this is what she wanted. She wants a certain lifestyle. She wants a certain partner that can get her that lifestyle. So she was willing to compromise. However, at the end of the day, it was not enough. And it's because she's a black woman. So understand that you're playing a dangerous game when you play in this matrix and you choose your avatar, that in some cases it still won't be enough, which is why I understand the activist warriors, because they feel like, well, if it's never going to be enough, why should I participate at all? Why should I sign up for this at all? Why? Why should I compromise at all? So I get that. And I think for every black woman that's out here, we're individuals. So I can't really tell you what to do with your life. And I would never want to, because honestly, it's not my life. And me telling you what to do would take you away from your authenticity, which would take you away from your purpose in the world. But I really want women to take more of a balanced approach to this whole uh changing yourself to kind of get your desired outcomes and things like that. You know what I've been seeing a lot of? I've been seeing a lot of women who date out the race to date a more stable provider man, rich man, whatever the case may be. I've been seeing them like, kind of reel in the man by compromising. And then once they got the man, I be seeing how they change their hair. So there's this one lady that I follow on TikTok. I love her content. She's married to an older white gentleman, and now she wears a blonde wig. She wears a blonde wig, and I think Sherry Seven talks about this. I think she talks a little bit about this. It's like, okay, like you have so, and then there's another woman. I think her name is the original trophy wife. She's a dark-skinned black woman. She's always changing her hair. She's so like fabulous, like very fashionable. She's always dressing in different attire and things like that. But if you listen to some of these dating coaches, they would tell you, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to find your signature look, your signature style and just stick to that." But she's in this marriage and her man loves to see her switch it up all the time. Like sometimes she has short hair, sometimes she has long hair, sometimes she has mid short hair and things like that. So basically what I'm saying is be careful when you are manipulating yourself to get certain outcomes and desires as a black woman, because it still may not be enough, because you have to accept that some people just don't want to accept you because you're a black woman, because you're black, really, like honestly. And so that's really my only thing when it comes to this whole discourse. I do get women who have opinions like this. I understand them completely, because some of it is misogyny, right? And just like I said in my last video, I'm like, all of these men have misogyny. And if you want to share spaces with the man, like through marriage, or you want to share a home with the man and things like that, there's going to be misogyny. Like, you need to accept that right now. I have to accept the fact that my father has misogynistic views and somewhat tendencies and things like that. But the misogyny that he carries is, well, I shouldn't overwork. And I should. I should. A man in the type of misogyny he has is a man should be providing for you and taking care of you. So it's like, I'm not gonna be mad at that. You get what I'm saying? And so the misogyny, you have to question, does this misogyny benefit me in this system that I'm trying to survive in, or does it bring on abuse? Does it bring on neglect? Does it bring on abandonment? Does it bring on internal struggles and issues that I'm having within myself? But I'm gonna tell you right now, all of these men have misogyny. This was something that I had to accept long ago, because I see it in my brothers at times, I see it in my father at times, I see it in my male cousins sometimes. And I determine whether or not it's toxic. Is it abusive to me? That's the type of mindset that I have to carry, because I'm in this system and I'm just surviving in it. I can't change the system, I can't change the world, and it's just something that I've had to accept, which was very hard for me, because I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign woman. I have control issues. I believe that I can control certain outcomes because I've been traumatized. Like, let's be real. Like, the reason why I have control issues is because I have been traumatized. And so I think that I can control everything. I think that if I prepare better, that I can control the outcome of certain things that could harm me or bring harm to me. So that's just not always true. So I've had to release control and just deal with things from a different perspective in order for me to just survive in the system, which is why some black women are changing their hair. Some black women are changing how they dress. Some black women are compromising, and they're willing to compromise because they want a desired outcome. Either you want the same desired outcome that they want, or you don't. It just depends on what you desire out of life. And so I'm not going to get mad at this girl for cutting her hair, cutting her locks to get a pixie cut. If anything, I understand. I see you, sis. I understand why you did it. I'm not going to be mad at you for that. Now, some women are upset because her cutting her locks was very male centered. Is very male centered. But again, it goes back to what I was saying. How far are you willing to go when it comes to this? Because you can definitely lose yourself in the system if you don't get a good understanding of who you are, and understanding the fact that you are in a system and you are trying to survive. But like, how much are you willing to compromise about yourself? Like, that's something that you have to not lose sight of when it comes to being in this system, because you can lose yourself and not in a good way.
To the girl who cut off her locks and went pixie cut, let me just tell you something. I hate black women who just submit to white supremacy. Like, I hate y'all so much. Like, it really blows me. You telling me you cut your locks off, not for you, bitch, but so you could attract more wealthy men. And I hate when y'all do stupid ass shit like this. It's
Andrew, it's not that women don't mind misogyny when it benefits us. It's that we are left with no choice but to see things from a different perspective. Do you know what it's like to be in a system and deal with misogyny? Are you on the receiving end of misogyny? Okay. This country in America is literally, it's going backwards. What other choice do we have? We don't have that many choices. Right? Like, I've sat down with my father, I've had conversations about some of his viewpoints and some of his opinions and how he views the world and the women in it. Same thing with my brothers. Okay? But I'm just at a point where I'm tired. You know what it's like to be tired? You know what it's like to be exhausted? Like, if you do, you have to make everything a fight? And that's where I'm at. I'm not trying to make everything a fight. I'm not trying to make everything a debate. So I'm changing my perspective for it, because me making everything a fight and everything a debate, it only exhausts my energy. And you know who benefits from that? Men. I don't benefit from that. I don't benefit arguing a man down and debating a man down about misogyny. After a while, it just gets exhausting, because a lot of these men don't want to see where we're coming from. They don't. And I've accepted that. So and then another thing I've accepted about men, especially the ones that are misogynistic, they don't listen to women. Why would they listen to us? They don't think that we have anything valuable to say. So I'm really wasting my time and my energy. Now, my brothers, my father, they see value in me, so they're willing to listen and hear me out. But there's just some things about them that I will never be able to change, and that's just something that I've accepted. Some women are just not there yet. Some women think that they can change men. I think it's very, very delusional. I do. The ones that you need to change are never going to see what you have to say as valuable. So you're exhausting your energy. And this is my mindset. It's not that I'm accepting the conditions because I agree with them. I'm just accepting the things that I cannot change. That includes the system, the misogynistic men that are in this system. I'm just accepting that, you know what? I can't take on the whole world and fight and debate every man that's misogynistic or has a red pill mindset. Like, I refuse to do that. I will never give a man my energy when it comes to that. I will only entertain the men that see value in me, that see my voice and understand my voice and my opinion as valuable, but I would never waste my time with I honestly, majority of men, I would never waste my time with them on that. And it goes to show too, because I don't talk to men. I don't want to talk to men. My ministry is not men. My ministry is women. So I wouldn't even waste time with you, because you don't see what we have to say as valuable. So I won't even go to your podcast. I won't be in your spaces. Like, I just don't feel the need to do that. I don't want to talk to men. I don't care, to be honest. It's just like they don't care when it comes to me. I don't care when it comes to them. So I guess we just even kill at this point. So I don't like, if a man doesn't see you as valuable, he doesn't see what you have to say as valuable. He won't even respect your perspective. He won't even respect your outlook, your foresight. So why even waste time? And the main men that are like this are the ones that are misogynistic, and you know exactly who I'm talking about, the red pillars. Okay? The ones that truly hate women, and in some cases I believe they're fighting their own sexuality.
especially for something stupid like wealthy men. She said a wealthy black man or a wealthy white man. First of all, no matter how wealthy or how much money a black man has, he should understand your lock, sister. Fuck what kind of circle he in, fuck all that. He should understand as a black man. Second of all, get your locks off. Not for you, bitch, but so you could attract more wealthy men. And I hate when y'all do stupid ass shit like this, especially for something stupid like wealthy men. She said a wealthy black man or a wealthy white man. First of all, no matter how wealthy or how much money a black man has, he should understand your lock, sister. Fuck what kind of circle he in, fuck all that. He should understand as a black man. Second of all,
I don't know why she's calling her out her name. I don't agree with that. This girl is very young, and she has been in this system probably shorter than the other girl. Okay. And when I was young and when I was her age, right? I had that warrior spirit. I had that warrior mindset, and I thought that I could change the world. I could change the system, and I could change the people in it. And it was just me being young minded. It's just me being young minded. And this is why older black women, we the older we get, we speak out against this, because it literally does not pay. It doesn't, it actually does not benefit you in the long run. You will wake up probably in your 30s and you will realize how much time you wasted. Seriously. Because you're trying to go up against a whole machine. You're coming from a community that does of men that don't support you in a way to where you could really fight this machine. You will not be able to fight this. So the only thing that you can do is give grace to women like this. But to call her a black bee, or to call her a bee, it's just so ridiculous to me. Like, it does not make any sense to me. But she's young. She's gonna learn. She may not know today. She may not know tomorrow. She may not even know 2 weeks from now. But one day it's gonna hit her. And it's around the time where black women start to say, I'm tired. I am tired. Okay? That's when it's gonna start. It hasn't hit her yet. She's still young. She got a lot of energy in her. She got time, right? But to my younger girls out here, my younger black girls out here, this is a fight that you cannot win. You don't have the support. Okay? Women supporting you will not be enough. Not in this system. You will have to have the community of your men, and you don't have that. You don't. And see, that's the hard truth that you have to swallow when you're trying to survive in a system. And then even the community that you come from, the men in it don't even support you like they need to. Okay? It's just, it is what it is. So I get where she's coming from. She's speaking on, how the world should be and how we women should behave, or how we should carry ourselves in it. But that's just not the world that we live in. Like, unfortunately.
I think what a lot of y'all fail to realize is if you have to cut off your locks and go pixie in order to be involved with a wealthy man, that is not the kind of wealthy man you want to be involved with, especially as a black woman. You did that because
Actually, I've heard several times, especially when it comes to white males, that sometimes they're intimidated by black women. Okay. Our braids, our many different hairstyles. Okay. And black women, you got to know your worth. You got to see yourself in the ways that other people see you. And ain't nobody really doing it like you. I got to be honest. You can wear braids 2 weeks from now, and then you can have a pony. You can have blonde hair next. Like, that can be very intimidating to people, which is why some of these dating coaches tell you need to get a signature look. You need to be consistent in how you look, because some men may find you to be intimidating when you can switch it up like that, and then switch it up and still pull it off. Like, that can be intimidating. I didn't know how intimidating it was to date women, and I wasn't dating women. I was on Bumble BFF, and if you're on Bumble BFF, you're trying to figure out what type of woman you want to hang out with. You start to see what men go through. Like, oh, like, she's into this, she's into that, she does this, she does. It can be a lot, and it can overwhelm people. Okay, so, but you don't want to change yourself so much to the point where you're losing yourself, because again, she cut her hair off, she's still intimidating. Remember, I said that. So there has to be some balance with all of this. There has to be. But you got to understand that some of these men, they just see you as intimidating. You got a lot going on. You got to, Bumble BFF showed me a whole new world out here. Now I see what it's like to be on the opposite end, especially if you're trying to look for a friend to hang out with. And it's like, damn, she be traveling here, she be traveling here, she be dining out. I'm like, I don't know if I can keep up with her. Like, sometimes I got to be up in the house to save some money. But she be going here and going there. She be out here, out there, spending money. So it could be a little intimidating. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. Now, does that mean that you should change yourself? No, it just means just be considerate. Just be considerate. I would have to say Bumble is a no-go too. I would have to say Bumble BFF is just a no-go. But that just goes to show you that trying to create connections in 2025 doesn't matter if it's a friendship or a damn man. It's just a struggle. It's a struggle.
you wanted a wealthy white man. I don't know why you tried to get up here and sugarcoat it and act like, oh, a wealthy white or black man. No, bitch, you want a wealthy white man. And you were willing to submit to white supremacy in order to do so. This is how y'all.
I think white supremacy is a stretch. I do. I think it's a stretch. She wants to attract a white male. Um, the pixie will do that. And then this is another thing. I feel like there's some gaslighting here too. Nothing against this girl at all. She's just young. But when I had my pixie and I attracted older men. So no, her cutting her hair attracting older men. Older men tend to be way more established and way more stable. Not all of them are rich, but most of them have a provider mindset. So her cutting her hair, like, listen, that was the best thing that she could have ever did, because I'm telling you, them older men, they love a young woman with a short hairstyle. They really do. They really do. And then you tend to attract the more clean cut um older male, okay? And it's just facts. Like it's just facts. And as black women, you know what it's like that when you wear certain hairstyles, you attract differently when you wear the certain hairstyles. You recognize that with you just doing what you want to do with your hair. You wasn't even trying to change or manipulate your hair to attract any type of man at all. You just went outside because you decided to wear braids one day, or you went outside and you threw on a blonde wig, or you went outside and you wore your natural hair. We all know that it attracts differently. Like, that's just a fact. That is just a fact. So, submitting to white supremacy, that's a reach. So, are you saying? Because I have to ask this woman this, and if I was to ask her, I would ask her this. Are you saying that that's what our mothers did, like that's what our grandmothers did? To the women that are older now and you used to have this mindset, do you see why our mothers, our grandmothers, and our grandmothers, because they couldn't control the system and the people in it and how people viewed us, they put more focus on how we carried ourselves, how they raised us, and how they did our hair, because that's what they had control over. They didn't have control over how people would view us. And then some of our mothers went as far as giving us white names. Like, I've even seen that, giving us names that were easy to pronounce to have us fit into this system that I don't even believe we should have even integrated into. But that's a hot take, but that's my Malcolm X thought process and perspective. But do you see why our mothers and grandmothers, they raised us the way that they did, they talked to us in the way that they did? We all had that conversation about how at the dinner table how we have to work smarter, 3 times harder, and things like that. But now I start to understand like why they did that. And it was because they did not have control over these people. They didn't have control over the system. So they decided, you know what? The privilege that we do have in this system is to show up as our best and to show up in a way that will garner a certain outcomes, certain opportunities, and things like that. So it's like I completely understand why our mothers and our grandmothers and even our great grandmothers raised us in the way that they did. I get it now.
In the worst sugar daddy situations. I hate women who choose partners they have to change for it in the first place, anyways. If you have to change yourself, if you have to pretend to be somebody else, if you have to, like, if you gotta change you, bitch, for a nigga, that's not the nigga you wanna be with. Like,
And I get her to a certain degree. Like I said, I feel like she's more on the extreme side, and I just need her to kind of reel it back in and just a little more balance, because I agree with her in the sense of don't lose yourself. The worst thing you could ever do is lose yourself in all of this, because at the end of the day, when you die, right, you want to be happy with your soul, right? And you don't want to die and then regret that you didn't live from an authentic place. All right. So I think that, like, there just has to be more balance to it. There has to be, because I'm not into the whole skin bleaching. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into all of that. I'm really not. Like, I'm keeping my nose. I'm keeping my damn nose because my niece, she looks like me. And I want us to look alike. If I go out and get nose fillers or face fillers, then me and her not gonna look alike. And then I'm just like, I want her to look like me. And I love the fact that she looks like me in the face. But at the same time, if I was to go out and manipulate my face, then we wouldn't even look alike. And I don't want her to be ashamed of her black features because she has big lips like me. She has my lips. She has my nose. If you see my niece on my Instagram, you see she got the nose and the lips, and she got the cheeks. So it's like I want her to be proud of her black features. And so if I was to go out and change that, we wouldn't even resemble each other, and then we wouldn't even look like we're related. So I get what she's saying. You don't want to lose yourself in this system. Listen, if you want to change your nose, that's up to you. But it's like I have a little mini me, and it's like I just feel like I want to be the example for her, you know. But everyone has their own desires. That's my desire. That's more important to me than the system and trying to play into the system. I'm like, I'm gonna keep my nose for her because I really do want to keep my nose for her, but I'm willing to compromise in some other areas, like, so again, creating that balance is what I'm talking about. Creating the balance. You don't want to go too extreme because you will completely lose yourself. You'll look in the mirror, you don't even know who you are no more. So that's where it really stems from. But again, your situation may be different. I'm not judging you if you go out and you get a nose job or really any type of plastic surgery, because honestly, it ain't my business.
I don't understand what y'all don't understand. Like, of course, do what the fuck you want with your body, but bitch, do it because you want to do it. Like, as a black woman, this is so embarrassing.
I don't get why she doesn't see it as that's not like that's something that she wanted to do. You don't agree with why she wanted to do it, but that is something that she wanted to do. She wanted to do it for herself because she wanted to get the guy. So you may see it as male centered. We can debate about that, but you can't deny that that's not something that she wanted to do. Yeah, that's what she wanted to do. So she wants this, she wants that, she wants this, she wants that. And so when you put it all together, okay, that means she got to change her hair. That means she has to dress differently. That means she has to do this. That means she has to compromise. But she really wants this thing. So that's based in her choice of wanting something. You just don't agree with why. You don't agree with what her inspiration is. That's what it really is. But hey, it is what it is. And I will say this to the girls out here where you're trying to manifest and you're trying to get those goals checked off your vision board, you always have to position yourself to receive the things that you're trying to manifest and ask for. You can't just create the vision board and think it's just going to come true because you created the vision board. You have to understand that once you create the vision board, you come up with a strategy, a practical plan to ensure that that vision board comes true, which will require you to position yourself to receive the opportunities to get those things on your vision board to fruition. So what does that look like? It may look like you may have to wake up earlier, or you may have to go to the gym consistently. You may have to be in the gym this year 5 days out of the week. You may have to show up to class earlier. You may have to stay later after class. You may have to take notes, more notes than you usually do. Maybe you have to take a tape recorder to class. You have to position yourself to receive the things that you're asking for. If you're just creating a vision board, that's not enough. And so that's what this woman is doing. She probably has the wealthy man on her wall for her vision board. And so now she's positioning herself. It's just like a job. It's like when you show up to the job offer and you're in the interview, you dressed a certain way, you presented yourself a certain way, you got the education, you got the certification or the degree or whatever you needed so that you are perfectly positioned to receive this job because you wanted the career. The career is on your vision board. It's the same thing. This applies to all areas of your life. If you're truly trying to level up, you're trying to get that lifestyle that you have on your vision board, you have to position yourself. Okay, you are the vehicle to your manifestations, but you have to see yourself as the vehicle to your manifestations. And some of you are just creating a vision board, but then you're not working on the vehicle. The vehicle may need some tuning up. Okay, the vehicle may need to go through some changes. The vehicle may need to take better care of herself. The vehicle may need to eat better, drink more water, etc., etc. Listen, listen. The vehicle may need for you to meet new people. The vehicle may need for you to get outside of your comfort zone and be seen. I just talked to my Patreon. I just talked about this on my Patreon, that some of you are afraid to be seen, but you don't take, or you don't view being seen as you taking a risk. Why don't you view? Because any success in life is going to require you to take risk, right? So you are afraid to be seen. Why don't you see it as you taking a risk? You're overthinking it. Rewire how you're viewing being seen. Because some of you are introverted. Some of you just don't want to be seen. Some of you don't like being center of attention. But the success that you're wanting, it requires you to be seen. Maybe you're trying to promote a business, a little side hustle, or promote whatever, or maybe even become a content creator, or it may not have nothing to do with social media at all. Like some of you just need to get out the house, but some of you don't like being seen. So you need to approach your level up with the idea of, I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a chance on myself by putting myself out here, which is risky because it's not something that I'm 100% comfortable with. But in order for me to be successful, I have to take this risk.
And y'all try to make it about, oh no, it's not about this, it's not about that, it's da 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 da, it's about having a more professional look. No, bitch. Locks and just African American hairstyles and culture is never going to be accepted as long as y'all are submitting. Everything for y'all is about chasing a wealthy man, and it's like y'all don't be attracting. Y'all spend your whole life trying to attract a wealthy man to the point where y'all don't realize you're not attracting a wealthy man, you're chasing a wealthy man.
And I agree. I agree. But again, I agree with her on this. But again, you have to meet in the middle. You just do. You have to meet in the middle. What does that meeting in the middle look like? What is meeting in the middle? Like, what does that look like? I don't know. Girl, you're going to have to book a mentor session, and we're going to have to sit down and have a long conversation and come up with a strategy plan on what that looks like, because I don't know. But meeting in the middle is healthy to me. Meeting in the middle is balance to me. Meeting in the middle is full alignment to me. Meeting in the middle is harmony. Meeting in the middle doesn't mean that you're going to be at war with yourself. Okay. Meeting in the middle means you're compromising a little bit, but you're not compromising fully. Because when you compromise fully, you're subjecting yourself to abuse when you do that. So meet in the middle. I don't know what that looks like, but you need to sit down and really figure it out. Okay, let me continue. Somebody speaking their opinion, it does not bother me. It's her opinion. Like, what am I gonna be mad at? And that's the thing. It's like women with these mindsets, y'all be angry 99% of the time. And I remember when I was in that activist warrior mindset, I was always mad, stressed and mad, mad at the world and everybody in it. Just pissed every day. Like every day I was in a bad mood. Y'all don't know how to be happy. And then y'all don't even know how to accept people where they are in life and just understand that that's their life and that's their journey. And who knows? 2 years from now, or even after the fact that she cut her locks, that she may not switch back and go back to the locks. We don't know. It's like y'all don't even allow people to have room and space to grow, because you're so focused on them being where you are today, as if it didn't take you time to get to where you are. It took you time to get to where you are today. So why this could be a part of her process? We don't know that. It's like, come on. It's serious. It's just too much.
If you're spending all of your time trying to attract a wealthy man, changing yourself to attract a wealthy man, you're not attracting wealthy men, you're chasing them. So we be good.
Listen, I would never, y'all. I don't even go to the gym for a man. So you're really talking to the wrong one. The reason why I don't believe in overdoing it with men and, oh, you should do this for a man, you should do that for a man, is because you will always be left disappointed. Do I need to go back? Because some of y'all not following me. Because I'm saying two things at the same time. Some of y'all not following me. All right. I will never center a man to the point where I'm doing things for that man. I'm always going to do things for myself. I'm always going to center myself for the things that I want in my life. Because if not, I will be left disappointed. You see how she was left disappointed?
You were up here before, right?
I think it intimidates men.
Okay. All righty. All righty. And I know that disappointed her. So two things can be right at the same time. And like I said, this is about balance. This is about being sensible. This is also about you being self-aware, because you got to understand, when you a black woman, it don't take much for you to be intimidated. You cut your hair, you wore locks, you were intimidating. You cut your hair, still intimidating. Okay. Still intimidating. So listen, I get the reason she did it, but sometimes when you center men that much, you still get disappointed. It's just facts. So a lot of women a lot of women think that by manipulating themselves that they can control the outcome. And that's not always the case. That's not always the case. You can position yourself, which she did. She positioned herself, but that doesn't guarantee anything. You can position yourself for that job. You can show up for that job on time, 30 minutes early. You could be over prepared for that job interview, and it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the job. So listen, I need the people to be balanced in their way of thinking. People just want to be extreme, but it's like two things can exist at the same time. And when it comes to this, it's like I said, I understand both sides. I don't believe this is a black or white type of situation, because the system that we live in is very complex. I mean, you got women who work in the government, black women who work in the government, and you don't think that they be questioning their hairstyles. I used to do wigs for women at my mother's job who worked in the federal government, and I had the same customers. They always wanted brown or black, and they always wanted their hair to be shoulder length, and they wanted a little curl, they wanted some layers, and that was it. They kept the same hairstyle because they were just always self-conscious about how they were going to be perceived in the workplace. So again, there has to be some balance with this conversation, because you can't sit up here and just say that and then just dismiss how the system views black women. Like, that just does not make any sense. And that's how some of y'all sound, which is why it's like, okay, on one hand, I can agree with you, but then on another hand, it's like me agreeing with you on this would mean I would just have to dismiss how we are perceived in the system. I would have to dismiss how people view us. And that's just crazy. That's why I'm like, come on now. It has to be balanced to me. Again, I don't know what that will look like for your life, because everyone's lifestyle and their wants and desires are different. Okay, so
I've learned over the last 5 years from doing lives on TikTok is that most women, not all, most, do not like to hear the truth or be held accountable. I think most women don't like to hear the truth, because I do understand they want to hear it in a digestible way. Of course, you don't want to be mean, you don't want to be rude, but you do want to be honest. And I feel like whenever the topic of weight loss comes up on my live, and I'm not saying to get a man, I'm not saying to date, but just to lose weight in general for your health, everyone is in an uproar. It's almost like you can't tell someone to lose weight without them feeling a way about it. Especially when they came to me and asked the question. I didn't go out, I'm not looking for people, I'm not searching or scouring the net saying, hey, you need to lose weight.
now, I know she's talking about weight, but the reason why I'm playing this video is because a lot of black women got triggered when they saw that woman talk about how she cut her locks, because a lot of you have dealt with racism, self-hatred, and all type of stuff. And so you automatically projected that on her. Similar to Ashley, right? You know the type of content that she does. She likes to help women level up, and that requires critiquing their weight, their hair, their look, and everything like that. And so if you are one of those type of people where you have not healed from your trauma, maybe even your bullying experiences and things like that, then this type of content will definitely trigger you. Even some of the comments that she makes, women come to her for honest advice. Women come to her for the honest opinion, because they don't feel like the people around them is going to be honest with them. So they go to Ashley, because Ashley does content like that. So even though she's referring to weight loss, same thing with the hair. Ashley was just being honest with that girl about her hairstyle and how, majority rules. Majority rules. Are there going to be exceptions? Of course, but the majority is always going to be the rule. And so she gives her opinion. She critiques from the rule, not the exception. And a lot of women get upset with the exception, but honestly, Ashley's thought process is, I'm trying to increase your chances. When you bank on the exception, you're lowering your chances. So she has the mindset of, I'm really trying to set you up to win. So I'm trying to increase your chances. I'm not trying to focus on the exception to the rule. Are there going to be exceptions to the rule where there will be girls out here that can get a wealthier man in a affluent space with locks? Like, yeah, but it's just not going to be the majority though. It's not going to be the majority. And Ashley would truly be wasting her time if she was just to give you advice based off of the exception. But let's continue.
And I want to say a lot of that feedback that comes from the girls who look like me. Again, this is not all women, but I think it's such a challenge when you want to help someone out. You see that there's room for them to grow and develop, and you're met with resistance. I see so many women, especially young women in their 20s, who come up on my live and they struggle with their weight. Granted, I know people are depressed. Granted, I know people have anxiety. Granted, I know we live in a different time. But it's heartbreaking to see these young people are facing serious ailments, maybe pre-diabetic, may have heart issues. So when I bring up health and I put a little extra pressure on the young girls or even the older girls, it's because I want you to get in front of things. It's because I want you to make your health a priority, just like you make that man a priority, just like you make reaction videos and tearing other people apart a priority. I want you to put your health first. Sometimes I think I'm met with resistance in the comments because if I'm telling this girl she needs to change, and maybe you look like her, you have the same body shape, that is also a reflection of the work that you need to do. So if Ash is telling her she needs to change, then that means I have to work on myself. So I'm going to write in the comments, no, she's beautiful the way she is. Although she is beautiful the way she is. We're not saying she's not. But there's always room to grow. Just like I feel like I still have room to grow, I think everyone still has room to grow. I've learned of a
Literally everyone. So I'm never going to be offended by a critique. Everyone has room to grow. Everyone has room to transform and change. If you want to be in your feelings about it, that's your choice. But being in your feelings about it does not get you anywhere, honestly. It just keeps you stuck in the same spot. So you can either take it as constructive criticism, and constructive criticism is to build you up. It's not to leave you in the same spot. It's to build you up if you were to take it from a positive perspective. But if you're just gonna take it personal, like someone is attacking you, and I get that a lot. Women, whenever you give them constructive criticism that is truly given to them to build them up, they just feel attacked. They just feel attacked. You telling them to lose weight, they feel like, oh, you calling me fat? You calling me fat? It just becomes too much. So I don't even like commenting too much on stuff because I just know how women are. And if they're not in a good place within their self-esteem or their insecurities or just their outlook on life, then they're just gonna feel attacked. So I get where she's coming from. Also, let me see. Let me listen to these women because these women agreed with her.
Are we seriously still telling black women in 2025 that they cannot attract a certain type of man with having locks and afros and natural hairstyles? Like, really? First of all, let's address that these dating coaches are literally just marketing schemes to attack the insecurities of black women. They're no better than any other predatory industries, like, at all. That woman is no different than Kevin Samuels. I don't understand why we're listening to her. Secondly, let's just decenter men, period. Like, just decenter men. You don't have to change the way you look, the way you act, the way you dress to attract a man. Like, just be who you are.
But again, she keeps saying to attract a man. She doesn't want a man. She wants a particular type of man. I mean, I could look like a whole hobo out here. I could look like I don't even have a home and attract a man. All I got to do is put some dog food outside my window. She doesn't want to just attract a man. She wants a particular type of man. Okay? So it's like it to a certain degree I agree with her, but it's not that she just wants to attract a man. If it was just a man, we wouldn't even be having these conversations. Dating coaches wouldn't even exist. Like there would be no lane for them on social media. There would be no need for them. She's not trying to attract a man. She's trying to attract a man that is wealthy. So no. And this is my thing, right? This is my thing, is that other women in other cultures, they get coached. Like if and I said this in my last um I said this in my last live, that women today have they're mixing sex work with traditional dating. Sex work and traditional dating are not the same. But because women have gotten out here on the dating scene and they have blurred the lines of sex work and traditional dating, now it's the dating scene is so screwed up on both sides, men and women, that now it's like people who are truly trying to participate in traditional dating, there's no lane for them anymore. There's only people out here finessing. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Men finessing you for some cat, or a woman trying to finesse a man for some money. And so traditional dating, there's no lane for traditional dating anymore. And so within traditional dating, women who wanted to be courted, yes, like they put a lot of effort into their looks. They put a lot of effort into how they styled their hair. They chose particular hairstyles and things like that just based off of what looked better on them, what looked the best on them. They also would pick out certain garments. Like back in the day during monarch times, like they would wear certain corsets and things like that. They would get a new corset if they knew that they were about to head into their courtship and all type of stuff. But it's like nowadays, it's like we're just trying to blur all of these lines, and there's no order, there's no structure, there's nothing but chaos and just confusion out here now. And so I'm not going to judge women who are wanting to use their dating, their courtship, as a means of surviving in the system. And that's what a lot of black women don't want to accept. And this is coming from me, a decentered woman, single, independent. Okay, this is coming from me, no children. I fit 4B, and I fit decentering men as well, because I don't even have sex. I haven't had sex coming up on, I think it's been 4 years now, this March. So this is coming from me. Some of you refuse to accept the fact that some women want to use their dating just like women back in the day used to. This is history. Like, this is historical. Like, history just repeats itself. They want to use their dating life to survive in the system. And some of you just do not want to accept that. Me personally, I'm taking a different route, which is more unknown territory, because I'm doing something that has never been done. They're doing something that has been done. So a lot of them are being taught from a traditional place. That is how they're being taught. And so a lot of them are taking the approach that they're using their dating life, their courtship, just like women in history used to survive in the system. At a time though, back then, it was necessary because women didn't have any choices. But now women have a choice. And some of you are mad at women for choosing that, because you feel like, well, they should choose this over here. It's not for you to decide. It's for them to decide. So if that's what they want to do, I'm not about to sit up here and bash them and shame them to death and call them bitches and hoes and prostitutes and all of this stuff. It's not my business. If they want to use their dating life and use courtship as a means, and I'm not talking about sex work. See, a lot of y'all are confusing dating life with sex work because that's the culture now. I'm strictly talking about a woman who is wanting to utilize her dating life from a traditional standpoint of courtship, where she is wanting to be courted by a provider man in hopes to marry. I am not shaming her for that. I'm not shaming her for that. That's her option. That is her choice to survive in the system. My choice is I would rather take a different approach, which is just me being able to provide for myself. Some women don't want to do that. And that's what I be saying. Like, some women don't want to do it because they just don't want to do it. And honestly, some women like, oh, it's laziness, it's this or it's that. You could call it whatever you want to call it. Okay. It's still their choice though. And this is why I say this all the time. Like, we as women today, we don't know how to support each other through our differences. We only know how to support each other when we agree. And this is why we don't get along. This is why there's such a divide on social media. This is why there is such a divide. Okay, I have to ban you. Okay. Okay. I don't know who this Ozil whatever his name is. You see how I'm a woman and I'm giving my perspective and they don't listen? They still want to create their own opinions and their own perspective. I'm literally sitting here and I'm giving you the woman's perspective and you don't want to hear it because it does not fit your narrative in your mind. It doesn't fit your opinion in your mind. This is why I refuse to waste my time talking to men because they don't want to listen. They don't. They don't want to listen. They just want to argue and they want to debate and they just want to be right. I will never talk to you because I refuse to exert my energy in that way. I am literally over here telling you from a balanced perspective, my opinion from a woman's perspective, and all you want to do is argue. That's it. This is why I refuse to waste my time. So I'm telling you that not every woman out here is using their dating life for prostitution. I'm not. I don't want to use my dating life for prostitution. I don't use my dating life for sex work. That's not the choice that I promote on my platform. That's not the choice that I live by. But there are some women out here who do use their dating life for sex work. Then there's other women out here that are truly trying to use their dating life for traditional dating and courtship. Okay. Not every woman out here is the same. And that's the thing. It's like y'all hang around a few women and you think you know all women, and yet you're not successful with women. And it's because you don't listen to women. You think all women are the same. You think you know it all. You think because one woman had this mindset or your mama had this mindset that now all women have this mindset. It's just ridiculous. Like, I have never subjected myself to sex work. I'm not here to judge women who have. It's just I have the privilege to choose, and that's just not the choice that I made for myself in my life. At any point in time, my journey to success has been very slow because of it. Okay? It's just facts. It's slow because of it. So you see men out here who sell drugs to get fast money, and you'll see women out here who will utilize sex work, which is ran and supported by men. Let's be clear, y'all never hold the men accountable that facilitate the behavior to where women are able to profit off of it, which is another reason why I don't care to talk about it. I don't care to speak out against it. If I know men are going to subscribe, if I know men are going to pay the OnlyFans models, if I know men are going to jerk off in their socks later tonight, I'm not wasting my energy with that. That's the thing. It's like y'all try to come into women's spaces and y'all try to put a battery in our back. And you want us to go against your behavior that you implement, that you practice every night. Let's be real. That you utilize with your sock and your lotion. You want me to go up against you, technically. Doing that. Like, do I look like a dumbass fool to you? Like, no. Like, no. And if you are not utilizing your sock and your lotion tonight, there's a friend group out there that you're a part of. So please, like, I've seen male friend group. I've seen your text threads. I've seen how y'all share OnlyFans models. I've seen how y'all share porn videos. Like, please, okay? Please, just please. I see how y'all create hidden folders so that you can get access to these women for free because you too cheap to pay. You too cheap to pay. It used to be on Reddit, but I don't know if they took it down because they found out about it. But come on, I have brothers. Like, seriously, I just don't understand. I be knowing the tips and the tricks. Like, my brother be putting me up on game with the bullshit. So please, I'm not wasting my time with that. I know how y'all operate. I know how y'all do things. So you mad at my comments at women when really you should be mad at other women who are paying these women. Like, why are you mad at me? Don't y'all like call them simps or something like that? I don't know.
The man that's for you will come to you. And lastly, like natural hair is classy. Like, stop telling black women that having natural hair is not classy, that they need to wear wigs, they need to wear weaves, they need to cut their hair off, they need a pixie cut to be classy. That is literally white supremacy. You're enforcing white supremacy. You're enforcing Eurocentric features, and you are just adding to the self-hatred and the insecurities of black women. And anyone doing that is not for the culture. They're not doing anything positive.
I agree 50%. I would say the other 50% I would disagree. I don't think it's for some women it's not that extreme. For other women it is that extreme. It just depends on the woman and the woman that you're talking to. But you can't think that just because a woman straightens her hair that she's struggling with self-hatred issues. It could just be her being convenient with her hair, and you don't know what type of lifestyle she has. Like honestly. You just don't know. And then I don't like the whole hair conversation when it comes to black women, especially the ones that don't work out. Like if you don't work out, you don't be seeing the gym 4 or 5 times out of the week. Like I don't want to talk to you about my hair. Like I really don't. Like I really don't. I really don't. If you don't get in the sauna, if you don't swim, if you're not active, I just don't want to talk to you about my hair. Like you're not relatable at all. I'm sorry. So the only thing you can do is judge from the fact that you don't work out, you don't sweat out your hair, you don't get in the sauna, you don't get your hair wet, you don't do any of that. And that's the reason why I don't police women, black women, on their hair. Because if you work out, then you should know and you should understand. And if you have 4C hair, we can't like us washing our hair on a daily basis or a weekly basis is absolutely insane, y'all. So no, if you're not working out, if you're not sweating out your hair, if you're not in the gym, if you're not being an active black woman, and then you want to police me on my hair, that is ridiculous. That is just crazy. So it's a no. It's a no for me. We all don't have the same lifestyles. We all don't have to show up a certain way for certain environments, because at the end of the day, we are perceived and we are judged. And it's like people do not want to clock that. Like and then have you noticed like social media has shown you how judgmental people still are? Like the whole body positivity bullshit. Like I'll never forget when I was a part of the body positivity movement. I thought it was a real movement. Like I really did. I thought it was a real movement until I realized that if you try to get like healthy, or if you tried to like lose weight, then they started to shame you and bash you for your weight loss. And then also I started noticing how people started to like bully people because they lost weight or they got healthier. Da, 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 da. And it's like people are constantly judging you. So you wanting to be fixated on well, we should be able to do this and we should be able to do that. Like you gotta also take into account that people are judging you every little thing you do. Literally. And then have you been noticing people in the comment section of some of these content creators like Aaliyah J? How people be judging and clocking her like, oh girl, you done gained weight, girl, you done fell off, you done did this and you done did that, as if she didn't influence a whole generation of women. Like that's crazy. Jackie Aina too, like judging her constantly. Oh, Jackie, she just thinks she is above the rest of us. She just think you're constantly being judged. So because women are constantly being judged even by other women, because it's not just men, other women are judging you too. It's like, come on, like you got to give grace somewhere. So if a woman is choosing to wear her hair this way, or a woman is choosing to wear her hair this way, I'm not going to police her. I'm not. I'm not. People are so terrible in Jackie Ina's comment section. Like, I don't understand why Jackie all of a sudden is getting so much hate. And it got so bad to the point where, and I almost wanted to talk about this, it got so bad to where people who actually know her started to hop on TikTok to defend her and to speak on her character and the things that she has done for people and didn't have to do. Like one time, like one of the videos was and just know her, not friends with her, just know her. And one of the girls came online and said that she had donated. She drove all the way from Los Angeles to like Orange County or something like that to sit with her because her dad had passed, and paid for the funeral and just sat with her as she mourned. Do you know anybody that's out here really doing that? I don't. I don't. That says a lot about somebody's character. But did Jackie post that content? No, we didn't know anything about it. We had no idea that she was out here doing that behind the scenes with the money that she was making on YouTube and how she was just giving back. So people are constantly judging you. It doesn't matter if it's on social media, it doesn't matter if it's in real life. I think social media highlights how judgmental society is. It doesn't matter if you're part of the body positivity movement and things like that. Like seriously, people are judging you constantly. So it is what it is. Let me continue because this woman, I believe she disagreed as well.
This girl cut her locks off to attract men.
cut her locks off to attract. It's gotten bad. Now, as somebody that used to be like former boy crazy, and I say,
and mind you, y'all, I agree with her 1,000%. She does not agree, and I agree with her 1,000%. And you about to hear why.
Former, because I couldn't give a fuck about niggas. But there's just a limit. Locks are so sacred in themselves, right? Like what you got to go through when you go through locks, the stages, like they're sacred in themselves. But to change your entire aesthetic for the sake of a fucking man? Are you crazy? Like, she said no more tattoos, no more hoop earrings. And I guess that's why they call us lesbians, because if that's what you got to do to attract, okay, that's fine. Give me all the tattoos, all the hoops. Give me the biggest hoop. I'm stretching my ears. Because at this point, that's what y'all going through to attract a man. You're cutting your locks off. And she looked good. The cut ate down.
It did.
But I couldn't watch it with a straight face, because I'm like, I just watched both videos. Like the first video was like, oh, she said no more blue nails, no more hoops, no more locks. If you want to attract this kind of man, you got.
And again, I felt like the woman in the original video, she over compromised. Like she was willing to change everything about her. She wasn't willing to keep anything original about her. You know, the haircut could have been enough, or maybe she didn't have to cut the lot. She could have just took the piercings out or something like that. But she decided to just change everything about herself for a man. And it was just like, you didn't even leave any room for just some authenticity. I mean, because man, like if things don't go the way that you want them to go, then you're going to feel like you did all of this for nothing, or you're going to feel like you didn't really reap the reward or the benefits.
Have this.
That's facts. Y'all, the way my brothers be acting with the little bit of hair that they got on their head, they certainly would not cut their hair for us. Absolutely not. No, they would not. That's facts. So I just wish the girls would compromise a little more when it comes to their whole approach with this. I just feel like you gotta be somewhere in the middle. You gotta be like too much, you're gonna lose yourself. You're gonna lose yourself. And I also mentioned this too. Another thing, women like all day on these apps, the focus is men, 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 men. Doesn't matter if you hate them, you're trying to attract them, you're trying to date them. Like the conversation is men, 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 all day. If you follow me on my other platforms, I don't talk about men at all. I talk about spirituality. I talk about leveling up. I talk about growth. I talk about nutrition. I talk about a lot of different things. If you're on my Discord, we don't talk about men at all. There is not a room about men at all. At all. And you want to know why? The main focus is us. It's about getting what we want. It's really us. It's becoming better. So the focus is always about men, and that's what kind of scares me when it comes to some of these conversations. And then she did all of that, and she had to in real time see how she was still intimidating, meaning she didn't really completely get the desired outcome that she was looking for. She did. So I just feel like there just needs to be more balance with this. If you're changing all of yourself to attract something, maybe it's just not for you. Maybe it's not for you. I don't see anything wrong with her cutting her hair, but when you just got to change every little thing about you that makes you who you are, maybe the thing that you're desiring truly is not for you. Like seriously, maybe. But then we don't know why she got the locks. She could have got the locks because she was dating a hotep. You know what I mean? Or one of them fake vegan men that's out here. We don't know why she had the damn locks. So we don't know if the new haircut is really her or if the locks were really her. We just assuming that the locks were really her, but we don't know. That's why I was like, give that girl just a little more grace, because we don't know where her headspace is. She could be finding herself for real. We don't know.
For the people that are mad at that girl because she cut off her locks because she said she wanted to attract a wealthy man, like, would it have cushioned the blow more if she would have just put a wig on top of it? When it comes to all the pro-black talks and I gotta wear my natural hair and, I don't know, 4C hair and light skin, dark skin, and I can't date a white man, I don't get involved in those type of conversations because I don't take things that damn seriously. It's for me, I don't understand it. I don't get too involved in it because to me it's really not that serious. Like, life is short as hell. So if you're telling me that that girl cut off her hair to attract a certain type of man, she started wearing certain type of clothes to attract a certain type of man so that she can have the type of man that she wants, the type of life that she wants, the type of whatever that she wants, I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. I don't see how that affects you and your blackness and your 4C hair. I don't see how that affects any of that. Like, people have doing what they needed to do to get what they want. It's not about giving the other person what they want. Is I can get what I want, and it's not hurting anybody. It's not taking away from.
It's about her getting what she wants. This is what she wants. It's like, y'all, I don't know what it is about 2025, but like there's this like hatred for a woman desiring a man. Like, why does that bother y'all so much? And I have to say y'all, because it ain't me. Whoever it applies to, if it's you that I'm talking to you, right? But why do y'all hate the girls that desire having a spouse? Like, I don't understand it. Listen, my issue is I don't like it when women are centering men to the point where they're losing themselves. Okay? Where their whole life is about getting a man, right? But like, y'all are aware that we are I'm heterosexual. I don't desire a woman. And see, this is how I know it's like some weird hatred shit going on, because if I was to say I desired a woman, y'all be like, "Oh, the girl, that's right, that's right." But it's like I'm not gay. I'm not lesbian. I like men. I do. The healthy ones though. You know? The healthy ones, the ones that protect and provide, the ones that have integrity. Them are the men that I respect. So why are we shaming women for being into men? It's like y'all can't. It's almost like some of you cannot accept the fact that some of these women want a man. Like that's part of that's their want. That is their want, right? And as I'm saying this, I'm saying don't be changing yourself so much to the point where you lose yourself though too. But if you enter into any relationship, it's going to require you to compromise. Ooh, excuse me. It's gonna require you to compromise a little bit. It doesn't matter what relationship you enter into. You can enter into a lesbian relationship. You still gonna have to compromise. So some of these women are willing to compromise a little bit to get the man that they want. I don't see an issue with that. I just don't want women to center men so much to the point where they lose themselves, and then they will later regret it. Because if you listen to some of these older women that have been married, they've had kids and things like that, they'll tell you, don't center the man and even your children to the point where you leave nothing for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like what's missing in YouTube and just social media overall is balance. All right, is balance. That's what's missing. And I don't see anything wrong with a woman desiring a man. If she's a straight woman, that's what she's going to do. I don't see anything wrong with that. I just feel like there needs to be more balance. We cannot be extreme, because I agree, that whole femininity movement, it became so male centered that it took us out of balance. Yes. And I talk about this on my Patreon, that when you are a woman, if you really do see yourself as a goddess, you understand the importance of femininity and masculinity within yourself, because feminine energy is creation. Masculine energy is destruction. And sometimes you have to tear things down and rebuild them and create something new. So you understand the importance of being in alignment within yourself, because you're going to be balanced within your feminine and your masculine energy. And it just seems like that femininity trend that was going on, we got so focused on the femininity aspect for quote unquote man, that we took ourselves out of balance. We took ourselves out of alignment. When we were taking on that rhetoric, some of us got subjected to abusive relationships, which I believe is the outcome of why some women are just like so against women, heterosexual women being attracted to men now, is because we took ourselves out of alignment. alignment. We took ourselves out of balance. We were just all femininity this and femininity that. And we did not think about how we need to also embrace our masculine energy as well, having boundaries, asserting ourselves, and knowing when to be confrontational when necessary, knowing when to walk away, knowing when to take control. So it kind of just subjected ourselves to unwanted experiences. This is why I was telling you to heal after that whole femininity trend, because you need to heal so you can balance yourself back out and put yourself back into alignment. So that's my whole thought process when it comes to this whole discourse with Black women, their hair, their choices. It's like, come on, we are in a system, we are trying to survive, because as women, as Black women particularly, the reason why I'm talking to you is because you don't have a community of men that is going to support you when it comes to this fight. You're trying to go up against the whole machine. You are a woman in a system that is misogynistic, and you don't have the support of your men. So you wanting to be this activist warrior fighting the good fight to go up against this system, it's not realistic at all. And it's not even fair to you. It's not fair to you. It wasn't fair to our ancestors. It wasn't even fair to the women that walked before us, that they shouldn't have even have been subjected to all of that. They're women. They should have been protected, but we were not. Okay, so I'm going to tell you to focus on yourself. I don't know what your plan is for your level up this year. The new year starts this spring, March 25th. So maybe you should sit down and plan like how you want your life to look, how you want your life to go moving forward now that you understand all of this. Because I'm just here to tell y'all that, listen, it's hard out here. They're doing a lot of reversing. They like to delete history. They like to erase information. They like to erase. They're trying to get rid of Dr. Martin Luther King in his speech. Can you believe that? Like, that's crazy. But they've been doing that. They've been doing that. We got comfortable. We got comfortable. That's all. So all I wanted to say is I support women. I support your choice. I just want you to be more in balance. I want you to center yourself more. I want you to understand the importance of feminine energy and masculine energy, because if you ever need to destroy something to protect yourself or to walk away from something, you know how to tap into your masculine energy to do that. Some ladies call it dark feminine energy, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's really up to you. I think my mindset when it comes to this conversation is that you have to find your own liberation in this system. And it may mean you changing your hair. That may mean you using your dating life to get a leg up in society. That's how women used to do it back in the day. It may mean you providing for yourself. That's a choice as well. I'm not going to push women away from their desires. And to be honest, another reason why I have this mindset is because, like I said, when you awaken to a certain reality, you enter a subconscious where you feel trapped in this system. You feel like a slave in this system. So I understand the women that just want a piece of heaven here on earth, where they're trying to figure out, the Black women are trying to navigate how can they win in this system, how can they enjoy their life in this system. And so some women have taken on this whole Black girl luxury, they've taken on this soft girl life, and I completely understand why they've taken on that approach. I don't shame them. I don't knock them. It's just their choice. And I also get the women who want to be more on the activist warrior thing. It's just, I don't agree with it. And I hope you understand why. I feel like I personally just wasted so much time and so much energy in my 20s on trying to fight the good fight, when the whole time I didn't understand that I was never going to win this because I didn't have the support of the men in my community. They didn't have my back. Like, how I had their back, they didn't have my back in the way that I had their back. And so I decided to just, you know what? It's about me now. Like, how can I win? How can I do this? But at the same time, I'm not willing to compromise everything about me to win in this system. Like, I have to have a piece of myself left. And so I hope you understand where I'm coming from. This is just strictly my opinion. I respect all the women in this video. I didn't agree with the woman that called or referred to the woman as the B word, because I just don't agree with that language. Like, sometimes we need to learn how to agree to disagree and respect each other in the middle of our differences, because at the end of the day, we have to stick together. As you just heard, I said we don't have the support of our men in the way that we tend to support them. So we need to support each other, and we have to learn how to support each other through our differences instead of shaming each other or bullying each other. And I'm just seeing a lot of that. And I've been seeing a lot of that. So that's all that I have regarding this video. I would love your thoughts and your opinions down below. If there's anything else that you would like for me to talk about, let me know. I will be on my second Instagram, or no, I'm sorry, not my second Instagram, y'all. I've been all over the YouTube streets. No, I will be on my second YouTube channel because I'm going to start this series called Daily Bread. If you're interested, it's going to be me talking about different things. And the first topic that I'm going to be coming up with is how I ran from leadership and how that kept me from my soul's purpose in life, and how that could be slowing you down when it comes to your manifestations, your blessings, or however you view it when it comes to your journey in life. So if you're interested, make sure you check out my second YouTube channel. I also have my lifestyle page. It's called Yoni's World, where I share different things that I'm doing in my real life, like recipes, my diet, stuff like that. And then I also have Discord. The only way you can get access to my Discord is through Patreon because it is a private group. There are so many members on there. All the people that are on there are really just so interesting, so loving, so supporting. They're a really good group of people, and I want to keep it safe. It's a safe space. The reason why I started Discord was because I had a situation not that long ago where we had a live stream where I was calling y'all on. Well, no, you were calling in and you were sharing your stories of like your situationships, your toxic relationships. And someone clipped the video and decided to react to it. So I decided to create a safe space for us to have those type of conversations and to vent and to just to have conversations that you really can't have like, on a public forum. So I have created all of these spaces. So whatever speaks to you, whatever resonates to you, you can catch me in those spaces. Okay. I will leave a link to, no, y'all, I don't post workouts because um it got to a point where, how I would do like, oh, I'm at the gym or I'm here, I'm there. I started getting stalkers. Okay. Like, I honestly don't know where I can work out and record myself and actually feel safe. So it has gotten to that point. So that's why I don't really be posting too much. I'm also afraid to post when I'm going to this class or when I'm doing this class. It's different when you live in a bigger city. And when I used to do those videos, I lived in a smaller city. So I didn't really have to worry about much. But now that I live in Houston, it's like I have to worry about so much. I have to worry about my safety and things like that. So if I was to link with a private gym, like how I did that one time when I was with that trainer, of course, like I would definitely record and get some content up for you. And I'm not saying that I won't post any content at all. I just won't be as consistent as I was prior because it is dangerous. Like, I just got to be honest with you. It's dangerous. I think Aaliyah Face, she was talking about how she had a stalker and the girl popped up at her house. It's really like that sometimes as a content creator. It's the main reason why I don't have a P.O. box. So I try to share spaces with you intimately in the best way that I can while also keeping myself safe. So Discord is that. And then my lifestyle page, Yanni's World, I'll be able to share as much as I can with you without, compromising my safety and things like that. And then my second YouTube channel, and then of course Patreon. So those are all the spaces that I have, and that is available to you. So you just check out what resonates or what you feel calls to you, and I'll catch you there. So that's all that I have regarding this video. Wait, do you need to pay for the Patreon to get Discord? Yes, you do. So it's under the first tier. The first tier is $7. Once you subscribe though, like you're locked in. Like, so even if you were to cancel your subscription and things like that, which I don't even know if I should say this. Yo, I'm so lenient because listen, I used to be broke, honey. Okay. Like I was a college student at one point. I was struggling on cereal and ramen noodles, but I don't even know if I should tell y'all that. But I'm not gonna be looking at you like, girl, you subscribe to Patreon and then you unsubscribe. Like, I'm not one of those type of people. Do what's best for you. Do what is financially feasible for you. I'm not gonna judge you for that. So that's all I have to say. And if I see you in Discord, I see you in Discord. If you can't afford it, listen, I'm gonna be putting up free content anyway, so it doesn't matter. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day, and I hope to catch you in my next one.